Hello everybody, welcome to Eat Fit and Lean. If you're new, please hit that like and subscribe button. Well, men of culture, we meet again. so that's not original, is it? But anyway, folks, I want to tell you all about what I've been doing lately. So I went on a speed dating. Speed dating is sort of this thing where you go to tables of different females and sit and talk to them for about 5 minutes, and then they go ding, 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 like kind of like that. Um, anyway, I went for singles age 38 to 55. That was a broad range for me. The women there were mildly attractive, but I don't think I made any connections, folks. I tried to stay away from the controversial subjects, you know. Do you want children? Are you able to have children? What do you think about our beloved President Donald J. Trump? I didn't mention any of that. I stuck to things like, have you been to Florida? I love Florida. I couldn't go to Florida because of the hurricane. That's what I did. I didn't know. But talking to all these females was so draining. Felt like I was talking to customers at Chick-fil-A. It's like, because I had to keep going and I couldn't really hear because everyone's talking, yapping. We had an even number of men and women, so at least that worked. But you went to the men had to go all the way to this different tables and sit down in front of a female. And you had to talk to this female, and you had a little like sheet of paper, and you wrote down what they look like, and then you wrote down if you want to contact them through email. And I don't know if I made any dent in it, folks. I don't know, because I will say this, and I'm not trying to sound conceited in any way, but I felt like I was in the wrong age group. I felt so young. I don't know why, but I know everyone was 38, 55, okay, but I looked around and I saw a bunch of people that looked quite a bit older than me, and I wondered, well, are they really in this age group or not? I don't know. But I just felt like I should be in the 25 to 35 singles. But I know that sounds, I'm not saying they look bad in any way. I felt like I was talking to people much older. Maybe it's because I'm a middle-aged teenager. I don't know. But anyway, folks, my experience with this was I just wanted to get an experience of talking to a female, which I would never get to do in real life, pretty much. I couldn't really go up. So, and talking to these females, I learned that a lot of them are not that bad. Females are not that bad. They're human, okay? But I felt like this was like, it felt very artificial. It was just, I had to go to the different females and talk to them, and I just felt, before I went, I was so nervous, I almost threw up in the car, so that happened. And I arrived about 5, these things, oh, by the way, word to the wise, these things they start right on time. I thought they'd be on Richmond time, that start 15 minutes late. But no, these things start right, if they say 6:30, they go at 6:30, and runs for 2 hours. And after 2 hours of talking, to 10 different tables, you just feel exhausted, and you feel like, did anything come of this? I will say this, that another thing that surprised me, I was the tallest man there. So that really surprised me, because I'm only about 5'11", so I was pretty much the tallest guy there. As far as the other men, I think they're probably in much better way than I am. They probably have real jobs. They probably are better at this than I am. They probably have already been married if they're my age. Most people in my age group have already been married and divorced. They probably have teenage kids at least, or older, maybe even college age. And they have a lot of experience. What am I going to tell a woman? I'm a 46-year-old virgin who lives at home with my dad. I don't think that would go over very well. I kept it very brief, and I said, look, I'm a musician. I work with an events company as well, and which is true. I did not lie. I just didn't go into details about everything. But when that one lady said, have you ever been married? Do you have ever had kids? And I said, no. I think that was a red flag for her. She has an 18-year-old daughter. So the speed dating was, I would say, it was worth it. I stepped outside of my comfort zone, and I did something that was very difficult for me. I had to look at these females also in the eye. I have trouble making eye contact, and it was painful to look them in the eye. I did it, but I don't know if they picked up on that or not. And a lot of them had pretty blue eyes. I must say that, a lot of pretty blue-eyed gals there. But I am not some kind of predator. I'm not going after a young 20-year-old. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. after being in these groups, I just feel like I'm so young compared to people my age. I don't know why, and I guess it's an autistic thing, maybe an autism thing. But I don't feel like I feel like I'm in a different way than they are. And I guess it's just because these people have probably been married and divorced. They're probably very jaded. They probably have a lot of baggage. And I really don't think I'm the right fit for any of these females. And I'm just doing it because I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to mislead any female who thinks that I'm a provider or an excellent provider for them. Because look, folks, I don't have a real job at this point, and I have debt, and I consider myself an influencer, but I don't have blue eyes, so I can't be in the jeans commercial with Sydney Sweeney. Um, Pretty much, I'm cooked. Am I a chopped man, y'all? Am I a chopped man? I don't think I'm chopped. I really don't because, and this is another thing, and I hate to sound very shallow, very shallow. I know this sounds horrible, folks. But in this group of men, I was, which is not set, which is pretty, I had full head of hair. I was the tallest, and I'm not going to say I looked more handsome. I don't want to say that because that's very rude. But I was just a little bit different looking than they were. But I think they're better than I think these men that they were there, they probably have really good jobs. They probably are good providers, and I think they are do much better with the females than I did. So anyway, folks, that was my experience speed dating. It's the first time I ever tried it. I recommend it because online dating, you'll never get anywhere unless you're like a 9 out of 10, or if you're a Giga Chad or something like that. But if you're a Melvin like me, who's just around average or maybe slightly above, because for my age group, I would say I am above average for my age. Sorry, I'm just throwing it out there after seeing what people look like my age. But I would say that speed dating is a good way to talk to females that would never happen in a normal way. And you can talk to them, and you might not be attracted to them. They might not be attracted to you, but you get a sense of how it is to talk to females. Because, folks, I am on the autism spectrum, although I do think autism could be demonic in some ways. I would love to meet a very gorgeous 60-year-old woman. I would like to meet a beautiful older woman that I could be like, who has the same values as me. And I was talking to an older woman online who is a gorgeous Richmond lady. She's blonde, probably in her 60s. She's gorgeous. And I could be a younger man for her, And I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind a gorgeous 60-year-old woman, but could we have kids? Probably not. I don't think a lot of these females want to have kids either. I didn't ask them that, but I guarantee that probably at this stage they don't want children. In fact, when you get to a certain point, they don't even want to adopt children. It's not that they won't even impregnate them. They don't want to adopt. So I want to be a father. I want to be a parent. I want to have a little girl that's daddy's little girl, Daddy's little girl, and I can spoil her, and, well, I won't spoil my children, but, daddy's little girl, and she'll look up to me, and I'll be the strong male role model that she needs, and make sure that she doesn't date certain types of people, I agree with Hulk Hogan on that. But anyway, I think these females that I met were very nice. They were very nice, and they weren't hard to talk to. But I don't think that I'm a match for any of them. I'll know within 48 hours. There were about 3 of them that I really liked, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work. There's one female there that I wondered if it was really a female. I didn't say anything, but I just don't know. Folks, I know everyone makes assumptions about me, and they say all these things, but I'm really a very kind-hearted person. Deep down, I really care about people, and I don't want to use or manipulate. I don't want to use any female for, just to get a baby out of, or just to, do my thing with. I don't want to do that. It's not nice to them. It's not fair to them. I really respect women at all levels, for the most part. And I really do, and I really tried my best, because I'm not perfect. I'm not a great catch. these females deserve a good man that's going to be a provider, that's going to really do what he should, and do, do well for them. I know that I'm not a great catch. I'm being honest with myself. But anyway, folks, it was a good experience for me, speed dating. Now I'm gonna try, instead of speed dating, I'm gonna go to a singles bar, even though I don't drink, and hoping to meet a nice Christian gal that is, of childbearing age, that would like to get together for drinks, for non-alcoholic drinks. Okay, and I'm also with a Christian organization, and I'm networking with people to do my music because I want to market my music again. And I realize, folks, that my music is very niche, okay? But when people say that I'm a horrible singer, I really don't think they're being honest. They don't like my politics. I have a lot of people there was this Jewish podcast that didn't like me. I forgot what it's called. I think it was Something Strange is the name of the podcast. Julie somebody, and these two Jews. And they listened to my music, and they seemed to like it genuinely, even though they hated me, and they said they will never have me on their podcast. They actually thought I was talented. And I think that when people say I have no talent, it really has to do with they just don't like my public opinions and that sort of thing. Objectively, I do have talent, although not that much, But I do have something to offer. So, anyway, speed dating, folks. That's what I did. I did speed dating, and I don't think it's going to work, but we'll see. Till next time, folks, remember to say a prayer for some special day. Bye-bye.